Archive Manager is the program we use mainly to bring the machine parameters from the machine into the office. And if you're just installing Genesis Evolution in the office, you have to have a valid set of parameters before the software will operate correctly. So if your machine is installed, then the best thing to do is to get current parameters from the machine and bring them to the office. If your machine is not installed yet, then you can get a set of parameters from the disk that that came with the machine. So in any case, let's look at let's go through the process of creating a set of parameters as though we were at the machine. We go into parameters copy, and we're going to back up a set of parameters. Now, it's best just to keep all the checkboxes checked rather than try to remember which ones are important. A few of these are not critical, but the backup is fast, so it's just as easy to keep everything checked every time. So the software always comes up with a default of the A drive, so we'll need to change that destination. And that can be either a flash drive or someplace on your network. In this case, we're going to back up the parameters directly to the desktop. So once we've set our destination, then we hit backup and it goes through. And the file that's created is a zip file. And when that file is created, it's important to remember not to unzip the file. When we go to restore the parameters, the program expects to see a zip file. So there's no need to unzip it. So we get a file that's created, and it's called custom data. There's also a small text file that's created. It's not important. You can just delete it. And so now we have our machine parameters. If we were bringing these from the machine, then we could have backed this up to a flash drive or someplace on the network. But in any event, we need to copy this set of parameters and bring it into the office. And once we've done that, then we're going to go back into parameter copy, and we're going to restore the parameters onto the machine computer. Now you notice that the restore button is grayed out, and it's done that because we have to put in a password in order to restore parameters. There's no problem with backing parameters up from the machine, but restoring parameters requires a password simply because you don't want to restore parameters to a machine unless the only reason you'd want to do that is if the hard drive had crashed or something had been corrupted. But you don't ever want to take parameters from the office and put onto the machine computer unless there's some problem that you have to restore them. So this is just to prevent someone from accidentally restoring parameters at the machine. But to restore them in the office, then we have to do this. So to put in the high-level password in the office, we need to close this window. And you'll notice down in the system tray, there's a yellow key. And there's two ways to access the password. We can right-click and click on Change Pass Level, and that brings up the password box. Or alternatively, you can press the Control and asterisk key on the keyboard at the same time, and that also brings up this password box. And in the office, it's sufficient just to use the password H, just a lowercase h, and when we do that puts in the high-level password, and when we go back into parameter copy, now the restore button is active. And we need to change the destination. It's actually a source directory, but in this case, since we're restoring, but we need to change and point the directory to wherever our parameters are located. In this case, they're on the desktop. And once we do that, then we just hit restore, and the system warns you, are you sure you want to set out or do a system parameter restore? And in the office, there's no real danger. You just want to be absolutely certain before you ever did this at the machine. So it goes and it unzips the file automatically and copies those parameters back onto the machine. So again, or back onto the office computer. But again, you have to do this once you've first installed the software in the office. You do have to restore parameters either from the machine or from the CD that came with it before the software will operate properly. And once we've done that, we can just close it and close out of Archive Manager. One more note is that you are able to use Archive Manager for program management if you choose to. When you go into Program Copy, then you can see all of your programs, and you can choose them from here, and you can choose where to send them to if you want to. You can also do the same thing with subprograms or even lists, which we'll talk about in later videos. But on the other hand, you can also just use Windows Explorer. If you go into your Windows Explorer and just set up a favorite that takes you into the C Evolution product folder, this is where all your programs are stored. So it's really just as easy to use Windows Explorer as it is to use Archive Manager. It's a personal preference. Whatever works best in your system is which one you should use.